This is for the Maroons in the Blue Mountains of Jamaica. This is for all my Native American Moors of Turtle Island just minding their business in Canada until all this colonization bullshit. Ronnie! My bad, Auntie.
It's Mike Ross, also known as Mike on the Mic, the nation's sexiest comedian, the nation's #1 side nigga, and the nation's only stripper comedian. Ladies, I'll be touring and I'll be live in a city near you. Make sure you're in the building. Make sure you purchase your tickets. Don't miss out on another amazing sold out show as always. Looking forward to seeing you there.
All right, anyway, man, getting to WAC 100, I think that's our final topic.
Your brother, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a brother, huh? You know, he's a controversial figure, definitely a smart man, right? He said something on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday that kind of caught my attention, and I'm going to transition into the topic at hand after that. He said, "My apologies, Dr. King. You fought for desegregation, and we turned around and segregated ourselves. Your fight for the people was turned into fighting amongst our own people. I myself at one time played a part in this. My apologies on your born day. You died for what we take for granted. R.I.P. Dolph, R.I.P. Big Jook, R.I.P. King Von, R.I.P. Draco, R.I.P. Marlo, R.I.P. in all caps, Nipsey Hussle." And then we see this nigga on Adam 22 breaking down fights between Offset and 42 Dugg.
Leaking messages,
claiming that, you know what I mean, Offset ran in his pockets. You got 42 Dugg, because obviously these brothers are very insecure and are going to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they are tougher than what they appear to be. So you go ahead and start steaming that up. Now you got Offset's leaked conversation. You did there and you distributing this all on a platform. It seems a little hypocritical to me. Before I go on my soapbox, though, oh God, I want to know what your thoughts are, because you had another angle to it that we heard in an interview, or not an interview, but a piece of content that kind of maybe tied all this together.
It was on World Star. Actually put a video out the other day, alleging that he could possibly be an informant. They put out some screenshots of some paperwork where allegedly he was cooperating with the law. Again, I don't know how credible none of this stuff is, so we didn't make the video, but I know it was definitely on World Star and I watched it. I'm not sure who the origin of the video was. It was some couple guys on there that was doing a podcast that was kind of talking. I can't remember the name of that podcast and whatnot. If you guys see this, hit us up. You come on and talk about it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just look at it like, man, look, if you follow WAC 100 on Instagram, every day he's posting paperwork. You know, somebody, I don't know if the paperwork's real or not, but the word that comes to my mind is provocateur. What I mean by provocateur, somebody who's going to provoke people. Like, it was no need to leak those text messages between 42 Dugg, you know what I mean? Or, you know, you and 42 Dugg, and then saying that, you know, Offset, you know, stole him, he ain't do nothing. Like, well, when you do stuff like that, right, these guys got to be smart enough to just ignore it. Yeah. Because if they look at it and start getting in their feelings, now these two brothers is at war, you know, and he got to come through Atlanta, 42 Dugg. And I'm so Offset got to go to Detroit and Memphis and all the people he's associated with. So you don't want these brothers, you know, indirectly going at each other's throat. Now, it's one thing if something's already out there, you know what I mean? And we talking about it. Like, one of them put it up and we talk about it. But if you start leaking shit and you start making, you know, putting two against each other like that, then it's like it's a provocateur. So people can call. I'm not going to go out and say the man's an agent. Yeah. I don't know for sure. But the type of shit that he does is like, it's some sucker shit. It's some real sucker shit. And you got to ask yourself, why? Now, I know why. One of the reasons, because he wants to remain relevant. Like, he wants to be in this whole podcast, you know, journalism thing. This is what he want to do, right? And you know that because he's on Clubhouse. I don't know if he's still on it, but he used to be on Clubhouse, you know, all the time, you know, talking about different things. And he's trying to build a platform at this point in time. So, hey, more power to him. But I just don't like how you putting two brothers against brothers like that we ain't even know was even going through anything. I never knew that 42 Dugg and Offset, something allegedly happened between them. I never knew that.
Right.
And they never said anything.
We never need to know.
We don't need to know. So, yeah.
I mean, it's 45, 46 years old, I think. I think he was born in 78. It's 45, 46. Smart man. I think he was a trucker, has a business.
Yeah.
Not dumb, right? right?
Right.
And then when you put out excerpts like you did on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday, basically acknowledging what we got going on and saying that you used to be a part of it, man, you still a part of it. You just transitioned into a different and higher chair in the bullshit.
Yep.
Because you sit on these savages platforms and you lay out drama amongst Insecure, and that is no disrespect to 42 Doug. That is no disrespect to Offset. They're all insecure. When they wear the diamonds and they want to flex and they want to
Right.
do all this, that's a way of showing that I got more than you. And we know how tough these people want to be portrayed. These young
Right.
brothers want to be portrayed. So if you got a story going around that you got your pockets tapped and then you got your jaw tapped, oh, you going to prove whatever you got to do to go, nah, that's not a situation. And then when you see text messages like, yo, nah, you know that wouldn't go down. Okay, now he's in his head. Now he has to prove something. Let the comments start going crazy. Let his Twitter and his Instagram, his Facebook start getting hung up with some bullshit. Now he's going to have to prove a point when you go through here and it's directed toward Offset, a father or two, and we ain't got no idea what's going on down there. And the purpose and the reasoning as to why you would leak conversations, why you would go in there and glorify this when you know the ramifications behind it. You've lived in the street. You've been in the street. You know where this is going. Dare I say this? I can't believe I'm about to say this shit. Hassan Campbell might have been right, dog.
Wow.
And here, let me tell you why.
Right
He
about
fought
what?
Leaking that motherfucker's information before he got any of his leaked. Fighting fire with dirtier fire. Because are we out of the realm of speculation that Wack wouldn't easily and just with the same amount of time did it to him? I think it's still a bunch of bullshit, all of it in general.
Right.
But that was the one time where he got caught up and was like, oh, shit, somebody fought fire with some heavier fire than I got, and I got
Right.
caught up. And now you out here doing the same shit.
Right.
You doing the same shit, and you highlighting it on the worst kind of platforms to highlight it on.
Well, I know he's going at it with Big U right now.
And that's another
They
thing.
had each other's throat.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Yeah. And, I'm not going to, we can't vouch for Big U. I don't know nothing about the street politics out there. I know we did interview him. He answered our questions like a man. A lot of people was accusing him of the Nipsey shit and all that. He stood in the fire with that, answered those questions. So, again, I don't know the politics and shit that's going over there in L.A. I don't know if it's all for the internet and whatnot, but all I know is if a wise man, you don't create enemies, unnecessary enemies. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he's doing. There's a large, I ain't gonna say a percentage of people, cliques, groups that don't fuck with Wack right now. And one of them is gonna be CMG. You know what I mean? Because he's attached to CMG 42 Doug. Another one's gonna be Offset's clique, and then all the other people out there that don't already like this dude. So then you got artists. Like you fuck it up for them because it's a climate out there that's created where now shit. What if Game go to Atlanta and somebody want to touch him, or Game go to Detroit and somebody want to touch him because 42 Doug is from Detroit,
Right.
And your manager's talking shit. That's how the streets move. That's how people move. All right, we can't get you, and get your mans then.
That's
So you
crazy.
create an unsafe environment for all people. Not to say the Game's even moving like that. I'm sure he's not touring or going nowhere. What if he wanted to?
Right.
You know what I mean? They see Game and they want to, do whatever to him. So I'm sure they don't really co-sign that shit. They probably like, come on, man, you messy as hell, bro. I get this is your career. You want to be on Clubhouse and talk shit, but like you making it hot for us places now, dog. And you shouldn't want to do that for not just your artists, your friends. Those are your friends.
Right.
Game, Rage, and all the other people that he manages. So yeah, man. That is what it is, man. What time's going to tell. That whole Nipsey thing, I think, is just like, my thing is you should have just dropped it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, why tease that fact that Nipsey had a crazy tape out there? Just drop it. Just drop it.
You resurface that, and then you resurface the whole Big U thing. And like you said, man, we don't know the politics of the ins and outs. We don't know how the streets feel about Big U out there. We don't know any of that. All we do know is this. He answered questions like a man, like you alluded to.
Right.
And when you look at anything he got going on now, he's celebrating being a dad. I think his son plays for the Chargers. He's out here
The
happy.
Big U?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I ain't know that.
Yeah, look into it. I think his son played for the Chargers.
Okay.
He out here living his life. He happy. He's transitioned into a different space in his life. And here you got a brother that should be doing the same on Savage's platforms, talking about children's politics and hip hop. And I say children, it's a young man's game. These are 20-something, his youth, you know what I'm saying? 20-something years younger than him. And he out here stirring a pot in a bunch of shit that he has no business even being in. Like, if anything, you got the influence to squash that shit. You know what I mean? Why you ain't tell a story on how you squashed it? Why you out here igniting more fires? But
I tell you what, he went at a lot of people. I think he went at 21 Savage and
yep.
went at a lot of people, man. Look, you don't want to create. I wouldn't want to create an environment. It's already bad enough. Anything can happen at any time.
Yeah.
You don't want to create that environment where you can't go to Atlanta.
Right.
You can't touch down in Memphis. You can't touch down in New York. But niggas in New York want him too, from what I hear. They, they was at him and whatnot. But I don't know how deep, it goes and, but I don't know. I don't want to hear about nothing, happening to people over some internet shit at this point.
Exactly.
So I guess we just leave it there, man.
That's all we can do.
Yeah, definitely.
Wouldn't be surprised if somebody got at us about this, but of course it's the negative